Good morning, everyone. Our topic this morning is about objective related principles of teaching. Let us read first our learning outcomes. At the end of the period, the students should be able to, number one, explain the objective related principles and their implication to teaching, distinguish among the three domains of learning objectives, and number three, write SMART lesson objective in the three domains. Object-related principle of teaching refers to the guidelines and strategies that educators use to set clear objectives for their teaching and ensure that students achieve these objectives. These principles are not exhaustive and different educators may have their own variations. The ultimate goal is to create a supportive and effective learning environment that helps students achieve their full potentials. Guiding principles in determining and formulating learning objective starts with begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind, says Covey, the author of 7 Habits of Effective People. In the context of teaching, this means that we must begin our lesson with a clearly defined lesson objective. With a clear and specific lesson objective that we will have a sense of direction. With a definite lesson objective in mind, we do not lose sight of what we intend to teach. No amount or far-fetched question or comment for our students. No amount of unnecessary interruptions or disruption can derail our intended lesson for the day. With a specific objective, our lesson becomes more focused. We do not waste nor kill time, for we are sure of what to teach, how to teach, what materials to use. Number 2, share lesson objectives with students. Like a seminar that begins with a statement of purpose, our lesson ought to begin with a statement and clarification of our lesson objective. Make known to our student an instructional objective and encourage them to make the lesson objective their own. This lesson objective, when shared and possessed by our students, will become their personal target. It is against this personal target that will evaluate themselves at the end of the lesson. When our students set their own personal targets, we are certain that they will become more self-motivated. Number 3, lesson objective must be in 2 or 3 domain knowledge. In cognitive, skills in psychomotor, and values, it's affective. Our lesson may be dominantly cognitive, psychomotor, or affective. A trivial lesson objective is hardly an motivating force and dominantly psychomotor if it is intended for the acquisition and honing of skills. Lesson objective in the affective domain are mainly focused on attitude and value formation. A cognitive or a skill lesson must always include the affective dimension for holistic learning. A lesson objective that dwells on trivia is hardly a motivating force. Furthermore, a lesson objective geared towards the formation of desirable attitude and habits has definitely a cognitive base. We may not succeed in effective change in attitude and behavior in people. That is affective. Without explaining what is the desired and behavioral change is all about and why such change is desired. That is a cognitive. Anyway, what is the most important according to this principle is that our lesson is holistic and complete because it dwells on knowledge and values on skills and values or knowledge. Skills and values. Number 4. Work on significant and relevant lesson objectives. With our lesson objective becoming our students' lesson objective too, the level of their self-motivation all the more increases when our lesson objective is relevant to their daily life, hence significant. Number 5. Lesson objective must be aligned with the aims of education as embodied in the Philippine Constitution and other laws and on the vision mission statement of the educational institution of which you are part. This means that the aims and goals of education is as provided for in our laws filter down to our lesson objectives. We have something to do with the attainment of our broad aims to education. We can contribute very much to the realization of our school's vision and mission statement because our lesson objectives are based on our school's vision and mission statements. Imagine what happens when our lesson objectives are not in any way related to the goals of education and to the vision mission statements of educational institution where we work. Number 6. Aim at the developmental of critical and creative thinking. This said more than that. We need to go into the laborious research to be convinced that the development of critical and creative thinking is wanting in classroom. Most questions asked, whether oral or written, or are convergent, low-level questions, with teachers quiet used to awarding and praising pupils or students, giving the right quiet use or giving the right answers, and sometimes branding the people of students who ask questions pilosopo. The classroom atmosphere that prevails in the not ripe of the development of crucial and creative thinking or creative thinker, the type of citizens needed to make democracy, then we should include in our scope of questions high-level, divergent, or open-ended question. For this reason, the whole brain must be used for balanced learning, not just left for critical thinking, but also right for creative thinking. Number 7. For accountability of learning lesson objective must be SMART. Example, or SMART means specific, measurable, attainable, result-oriented, and relevant, time-bound, and terminal. When our lesson objective is SMART, it is quite easy to find out that the end of our lesson, if we attain our objective or not, it will be easier on our part to formulate a test is valid to measure the attainment of our lesson objective. Moreover, our lesson becomes more focused for we have a concrete picture of the behavior that our student should be able to demonstrate. If we realize our lesson objective, in short, SMART objective increase our accountability for the learning of our student. With SMART objective, we depart from the unsound practice of teaching that is so spread out that in the end, we find ourselves unclear on what test we are going to give to assess learning. With SMART lesson objective, there is greater match between instruction and assessment. So there is a curriculum alignment. So this is Godel Provido. Thank you for listening.